Let's go. Okay. Me
Yeah.
too. All right. You got this. So what you
Okay. So
go
you
ahead.
want me to just tell you about myself, what I do?
Wherever you want to start. Tell us how you started your journey.
All right. So I mean, you've read on my resume. So I mean, I work in the fintech. I work in fintech, financial technology. We build product services for e-businesses. So think of payment apps, banking apps, and all of that. Right. So that's my 9 to 5. I've been in fintech for over 15 years, and I've moved up from customer success, integrations, system integrations, data analysis, and the like. So right now, I look after the products and services for my entire division. Right. So that's on the 9 to 5. On the writing part, I came into Substack last year, June. So how did that happen? I've always known that I'm a writer by heart. I've always loved words. So in my 9 to 5, everything that had to do with was to think proposals, think pitch decks, um, uh, presentations. I was always trainings for new staff. I was always leading that, like, those things came naturally to me. So even reviewing agreements, legal agreements, and all of that. I hope this network is fine. Right. So that always came naturally to me. And so writing it's always been there for me. Right. So, I mean, before 2024, I would say, or you could call me successful by society standards. I had a good job. I had a family. I had 2 kids. And I mean, things were going on, right? But I always had this restlessness in me. I always felt that I was meant for more, but I couldn't place it. I just knew that there was just something off. I knew I wasn't fulfilled. I wasn't living like I was fulfilled, but I didn't know what it was. Now, before then, when I became a mother, I started having the subtle shifts that motherhood brought because I've always been someone who is intentional. And I've always known that some of the gaps that I experienced whilst I was being parented, I knew that I didn't want to replicate that in my own parenting. But of course, I didn't have the knowledge, right? So it was all I knew that I was coming in with. So I had started to, because of the certain little things that had been happening. So for instance, my daughter picked up lying at 4, and I was, I was, I was horrified. We don't lie here. Where did you get that from? It was, it was like, how can on simple things like making messy scribbles on the floor or playing with water somewhere and, making a mess? I didn't understand at the time that, first of all, it's actually a developmental milestone because think about it. When she was 1 year old and she would mess up things on the floor, right? She didn't give a hoot as to, oh, mommy is going to be upset, right? She didn't think about that. Wasn't that aware. But then as she's growing older, she's realizing, okay, if I make a mess here, that means I'm naughty, right? So of course, that's actually a developmental milestone. So it is a good thing. I mean, it's not something that I should get worked up over, but because I didn't have that understanding. And then I wasn't handling it well because I was, I was yelling, I was upset, I was projecting perfection, like, oh, I never make any mistakes. Oh, I'm the perfect person here. Right. And that started making her withdraw. So, because of course she does something wrong and she knows mom is going to be upset about it. And then she's already withdrawing. Right. And I started observing that. And that was what made me, and I started to step back to say, oh no, I don't want this in my parents because growing up, I had moments where I couldn't connect with my mom because that's how she knew how to parent at the time. Right. And I said, these were some of the gaps that I didn't want for me. So that's what led me to start learning. And then the more I learned, the more I realized that, okay, I was actually handling it differently, right? Why not? What happened to, oh, sweetie, everybody makes mistakes. Next time, just let me know and, we're going to fix it. I mean, it's not an issue. What happened to empathy? What happened to having a conversation rather than control? And that's where the journey to conscious parenting started. Now, remember that I still have that restlessness, but I just, it's a journey. So yeah, we started learning and all of that. And the more I learned, the more I realized that I needed to fix me first. So it's actually about me. If I handled the lying episodes properly, we should have even led to a learning opportunity, a teachable moment, and more connection with me and my daughter, right? So the more I was learning about parenting, the more I realized that it's about me. I need to be the one to mo- m- project emotional intelligence. I need to be the one to model whatever it is that I want my children to reflect, right? So that realization made me, it was really a profound shift. But of course, I embraced it. Now the restlessness didn't die. Fast forward to March 2024 last year, my dad passed. I had to travel home because we don't stay in the same city. My siblings stay in the same city with him, but I don't. I don't. So I had to travel back home, and I remember going into his. And that was a man of impact. He had books. He was someone. He was selfless in pursuing community help. Like he was selfless in making things happen for people. Like he was just awesome. But of course, you really don't understand these things until he hits it out. This man is no longer here, right? And I remember going through his things and his books and his projects he's done, he had been involved in. And at that moment, it just hit me that, okay, this was somebody who had no, of course, he didn't even embrace technology. He had no platform, nothing. And he could do all of this. So what excuse do you have? And I was talking to myself. And that was when it hit me that you have to put yourself out there. Like you have no excuse. I'd been hiding all of this while. Before then, I had zero social media presence. In fact, I would usually tell myself, why should people be in my business? Why? I don't need to tell anybody what I'm doing. That was the kind of mentality I had. So right there and then, right, I was standing in his room. I knew why all of those restlessness over the years. It just made sense right there and then, and I knew what I was called to do. It was so crystal clear. Like I had that awakening right there and then, and I made up my mind. You know what? I'm going to start writing on Substack. I had no. The only thing I knew was that I loved words and I loved to write. I had no strategy, no nothing. I just knew I was going to do it, right? And of course, I started. I started. No plan, nothing. I just knew that every week I was just saying something. I didn't even understand what the niche was. I didn't even understand what I just knew that I was writing about what I was interested in. Personal growth, parenting. And yeah. And then fast forward, of course, all through June up until December last year, I knew that it was more of a training for me in terms of even understanding what my voice is, understanding the kind of message I want to pass across, understanding the kind of person I'm projecting, understanding who I'm even speaking to. Right now, going into this year, I knew that I had to now becoming grounded in my voice and all of the things happening on Substack. I knew that I now had to deepen the relationships I was building, nurture them as well, build my community, become that trusted voice when it comes to conscious parenting, when it comes to being being intentional as you grow alongside your children. So all of that is now what I'm currently doing. Of course, coming up, understanding my niche, understanding my frameworks, and all of that. Yeah, so that's my story in in a nutshell. And of course, we're here today and here.
You have an amazing story, Stella, and I see correlations between your story and mine, and that's
Mm,
probably and why we we have a connection. And when I see you, normally you have such a your face is such you have a seriousness about you. Okay. And today I'm seeing smile. So I'm seeing two different Stellas. So I'm like, okay, all right, I get that. And I respect that. Because from where I came from, you know, the way you carry yourself is the way people present
Yeah.
you. Okay. The way
Yeah.
people come to you. So if you show yourself from
Sure.
space, that's the way they're gonna come. Like they got some
Sure.
sense.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but underneath that exterior, we as sweet as pie. Okay.
Oh my God. You said it's so serious. Like I have this, oh, she's so serious. She doesn't play that. It's actually not like that. It's just, I don't know. It's just that expression. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you talk about your development, and you know, your situation, how you approach Substack. Yeah, because I have all these people that I have embraced that have all of this experience about Substack and how it's supposed to run. Okay. And I really appreciate all the advice and everything that I have invested into getting this advice, which is good to have. However, I approach it from a holistic standpoint that I have to do what feels right. Okay.
Sure.
And I want to be authentic in doing that. Okay.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
So I,
Definitely.
I do it the way that feels genuine to
Feel
me.
right to you.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. I
Be-
mean, you,
Go ahead.
I don't think that there's any, I mean, how sustainable is it to do something that is not, that doesn't feel right, or that doesn't feel genuine to you, right? It's just,
Right.
I mean, it's not something that you can sustain. And then over time, the cracks are going to show, and it's going to be obvious that this is really not you. So you just got to do what feels right for you. I mean, everybody has their own path, everybody has their own unique path, unique story, unique ways to tell that story, unique voice. So you got to own what is yours, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to own it. And I love the way you said that. That's absolutely right. And with doing that, people will gravitate towards you. The people that get you,
Definitely.
okay? And the people that
Your
that
tribe will find you because you're
absolutely,
not speaking to everyone. You're not speaking to everyone.
no,
Your tribe
no,
will find you.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So, so where do you think this journey is going to lead you at this point? What do you envision?
I mean, this year I told myself that this is my building phase. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but this is, you know I'm quite spiritual, and I talk to God and He talks to me as well. And this is my building phase, really. I'm building. I don't know how long it's going to last. I don't know how long it's going to take. But I know that, of course, looking from where I am last year up until now, I'm not where I used to be. I'm loving the connection that I'm making. I mean, it's so wonderful because I'm somebody who would naturally be okay all by myself, but of course you cannot be in the world where we are in right now. You got to thrive on relationships, right? And I'm just enjoying what Substack is giving me in terms of beauty. Look at me, myself, and you having a conversation, right? We haven't even met physically, right? We haven't even had any conversation per se, other than maybe commenting on notes and on chats, and right. But then look at us having conversations like we've been chatting before now, so much. So I'm loving the deepening connections because it's an opportunity for me to also build myself in that area. I believe so much in learning every single day. Like when I stop learning is when I drop dead. So I've learned so much on Substack, and generally across just putting myself out there. So Right now, I'm building. I am even just today, I was telling myself that the kind of things I write about, yeah, experiencing personal growth the topics cut across throughout the year. But I was just reflecting today and I'm like, okay, so there are certain seasons when, there's certain things that happen at certain seasons that, you got to maybe amplify your voice further. So for instance, beginning of the year, everybody wants it's a new year, new objectives, new goals, and all of that. Right. And then summer, so June, July, maybe May, everybody is buzzing about summer. Parents want to do stuff with the children, or maybe they don't even understand what to do. And then August, September, you have back to school season as well, where, oh, it's a new session. Um, it's a new year, a new school year, right? And that comes with a lot of challenges, maybe transitioning, settling down and all of that. And then you also have the holiday period, November, December. So I was just thinking during those, and you got to have like maybe like a yearly calendar where you already know what these things are for each of this month, and you already have maybe not the same topics, but some maybe like a framework. This is something that just came to my mind just this afternoon. So again, I'm putting all of these frameworks together. I'm writing my book, and that is for me is a major project. It's something I really want to do right. I had launched something last year, but it was more from an informational perspective. It was more, oh, this is what I do with my family. Right now, it's I'm making it transformational. I'm putting myself in the shoes of my readers, and I'm saying, and I want them to read and understand. Oh, I actually feel this way. Oh, so you feel this way too. I want them I want to talk to them in particular to say, oh, I see you, you're a busy parent, you're a modern day parent, you're somebody who understands intentional growth. Probably you don't have the resources, you don't have the tools, you don't have the framework, right? But you understand this and I get you, I want you to. So I'm rewriting in that mindset. And so that's all I'm doing this year. I don't know how long the building will take, but I know that this is definitely for the long haul. I mean, it's not. I would usually say that when you're building a legacy, it's not in what you leave behind. It is in the steps you take every day. It's in the intentional actions, every single thing you do at every single point in time. That is a legacy that you are leaving. So you're actually leaving it, Live, leave, and not Leave, leave when you leave this world. Yeah.
I get it and I respect it. Okay. And today I have made a stand. I'm like, okay, I'm going through this chat phase. And honestly, it's exhausting trying to type all of these things in and I'm losing my trend of thought. I'm not
Mm-hmm,
I'm gonna do my ask me anything lives from now on. I can have that
mm-hmm.
energy projected to the crowd and talk to them directly. I want to have a dialogue. I don't want monologue. Okay. I want to say
Mm-hmm.
what I say in the moment. Okay. That
Exactly.
is most important. Okay. And see what
Exactly.
you have to say. And then, it's almost like we're doing a testimony here. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
People here. Okay.
mhm.
And that's where it counts, where everybody can listen and everybody can learn from the
Can
experience.
learn, yeah. Can feel you real time, can have, I mean, these sessions are so enriching. You learn a lot from them. You get to understand people, it's different when you're chatting than when you're seeing someone live, there's just something about it that is different. And I think it's a good one. I mean, do what works for you. It's perfect. Yeah.
And that's you have to do what works for you. What works for me
Definitely.
and what works for you might be two different things. Okay. And
Exactly.
once you're into the flow and you're able to use your energy, your spiritual powers, all of the powers that we talked about, okay, then you can deliver the message that the people need to hear when they need to hear it. Okay.
Definitely. Definitely. Definitely.
Right. All right. So,
Yeah.
when do you expect your book to be finished?
Right. So I'm working towards first quarter of next year. Um, it's usually going through the entire process. Like, I've been doing this through VAA, Rainey's Viral Auto Academy, and the timeline is usually about a year because there's a lot that goes into it. From writing the book is just I mean the easy part, right? There's the marketing research that goes into it. There is the book launch. There's a publishing, and then the launch, and then the podcast tours, and all of that. So yeah. So and then I also have my 9 to 5. I have my family. So all I just want to put myself under pressure, just take my time and then, get it right. Yeah. So I'm looking at first quarter of next year. So that's my timeline.
Good for you.
Mhm.
Out of all the
Thank
things that we
you.
have, out of all the things that we have to do, you have to also remember to put yourself first, because if you don't, you won't be able to do anything for anyone else. Remember that.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. In fact, it's something that I'm also putting to mind right now because I used to come from a perfectionist mindset, right? And so because of that, I would always criticize. I didn't usually waste time in criticizing myself, but so it's also something that I'm trying to unlearn. And of course, I mean, being out there it just does a whole lot to you, right? You are able to unlearn. We are able to start learning new things, and you just somehow you just find that it's getting easier. Yeah, sometimes it could be overwhelming. I mean, we're all humans, right? But yeah, at the end of the day, you just realize what is working, what is not working, what you can tweak in your schedule. And these days, I used to feel guilty about rest, but now, I mean, if I need to take the whole day to sleep, I'll go do it, right? Because at the end of the day, I need to fill me up first before I can give out what I have. Yes, so yeah.
That's very, very smart.
Mhm.
Is there anything else that you would like to share?
I mean, basically, becoming together, which is my publication, is it's about, so we have people who talk about personal growth, people who talk about child development, or conscious parenting, if you like. But I'm copy this is a mindset where this is a space where we're looking at a holistic view of, it's not just about me developing myself. It's me developing myself for my children and then for the world, right? Because when I was doing when I had started intentional parenting and I was doing all I was doing and I was seeing the changes, right? Yeah, that was good. But then it didn't become a purpose. It didn't become a mission until I started sharing with the world. Until I started, because every one of us, we all have a message. There's something unique about us that we can give to the world, right? So until we are able to turn that message and share it to the world, right? That's actually when you're living a purpose. So this is just me saying that, yeah, when I started the journey, I came from a space where I had no idea about what it meant to even put myself out there. I just said that I wanted to write. And right now, I'm sharing. I mean, I come from a place from the background where I don't even know how to tell my story. But right now, I'm understanding that, look, you got to tell your story. Like, that people waiting for that breakthrough, people waiting for your story to have a transformation. So you got to share it, right? Particularly in the world where it is so easy to. I mean, look at me and you are having this conversation. So what is stopping us? So I mean, this is just me saying that we all have something unique in every one of us, and we really need to, bring out that message in however way that feels authentic to us. Yeah,
Absolutely. And some people just are not ready, and that's okay. Okay. And
that's fine as well.
we're here to encourage them, inspire them, and
Definitely.
them to take that one step. Okay. That's all it takes. That
One
one
step,
step.
one step, and then you don't have to have it all figured out. I mean, we're figuring it out as we go along, right? Clarity, action breeds clarity. So don't worry about, we don't need to have all of the roadmap clear. Just take that action as authentic as it feels to you, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. I can't tell you how many years I sat with all of this knowledge, skills, and abilities and was afraid to put myself out there to even write, much less do a live. And it was a disservice not to just myself, but to everyone else who can benefit
Definitely.
from all of the knowledge and experience that we have.
Definitely.
Okay?
Definitely.
And the cemetery is full of people that never had an opportunity, may not have had an opportunity to do that.
Opportunity to do that.
And on their deathbed, they say, I wish I could have wrote that song.
I wish
I
I
wish,
could have done this. Exactly.
okay. So I don't want to be that person. Okay. And that's why I do something every day. Try to do something
Mm-hmm.
every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then, when that day comes, um, I can feel good about what I've left behind. Okay.
Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well
Thank
said.
thank you so much for this conversation today. Our internet may have been unstable, but what's important that you could hear what we had to say. Okay, that's what's
Thank you
most
so much, Margaret, for having me. I appreciate the opportunity, and I had fun
important.
on the
And thank
call as well. Yeah. Thank
you
you.
for coming too. Thank you. All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.